So glad to have you here. And today on the show, I want to talk about 5 tips for setting realistic goals for investing in real estate. These really can be extrapolated out to any area of your life for success. I've been a successful real estate investor for a number of years. I've been a successful entrepreneur. I've started a number of businesses and I've made mistakes. The ones though that where I've had strategies and goals in place, I've been successful. It's actually kind of amazing how that works. So today on the show, I want to talk about the setting realistic goals for real estate investing. So I want to go over 5 tips today specifically on the show to make your goals a reality. I'm huge on goal setting. And again, I think the areas where I fall down in my life where I haven't set strategic goals, where I haven't been very specific about my goals, then I don't achieve them. And so even if it's something as simple as sitting down and I want to meditate on a regular basis, and when I sit there in that meditation, I'm sort of looking at sort of positive affirmations that support my overall goals. But again, they have to be specific and actionable. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. Thinking sort of big pie in the sky ideas is great, but what little incremental ladder steps can I use to get there to my overall goal? So that's what I want to talk about today on the show. And it's been a huge part of my success. So we're going to talk about 5 steps, 5 tips, and how to build a successful real estate portfolio and career. It's in fact how I've built my entire company. It's all around goal setting. Like if you booked a call with my team at Morris Invest, if you go to our website and book a call with our team, one of the first things you'll notice is that when you get an email welcome from us after you pick the time on our calendar, we actually send you some purpose-driven goals worksheets. Because before we even get on the phone with you, we want to know what your goals are. It's very important to have a plan in place and to be able to put those goals up around your house, on your refrigerator, on your whiteboard, on your computer screen. Now, we've had viewers of our channel here who've set their intentions and goals. One of our viewers and clients actually set up balloons that had a big freedom number in their room. So every time they walked into it, they saw that number. They saw that freedom number. What is the number that it's going to take for me to live financially free? And it was in balloons around their house. Incredibly exciting. So we're going to talk about your goals. We're going to talk about how if you fill out your goals worksheet that we have when you book a call with our team, and how do you plan to make all of that happen was what we're going to talk about. So why are we so focused on goals? It's a great question. I believe that really, setting goals and then acting on them step by step by step is the only real way to make changes in your life. Whether it's trying to lose weight, trying to learn a new skill, learn a new language, learn a musical instrument, make a habit change, to quit smoking, or whatever it happens to be. Incremental, small steps in the right direction. I'll just give you sort of an anecdote. I was playing golf this weekend with a bunch of friends, and you can get so frustrated if you think of the golf game as one huge game. But very often there were just a few little things that needed to change. And so I spent the time practicing on those few little things, taking those little steps. And then you're not so overwhelmed by the larger idea of a golf game, right? It's just, and then I started having so much more fun because I was able to focus on those little things and take those actionable steps. And if you stick around to the end of today's show, I'm going to share a little about a project that I've been working on all year, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm going to tell you how you can get access to that. So you got to stick around till the end of today's show. I'm really excited about that. We started working on this last year. Wrote it down, planned it out, and we took action on it. And that's how it's now a reality. It's amazing how that works. All right, so let's dive into, and we'll open it up for Q&A here in a little bit, but I want to jump into 5 tips on how to set realistic goals for real estate investing. I put together a lot of notes because I think this is going to be helpful. And there's a new study just out as well that I'm going to go over in just a second. Number 1, though, on my list is you must identify your why. You have to identify your why. Think about why you wanted to get started in real estate investing in the first place. And again, obviously, I'm sure money is a big part of it, right? You're not just in love with houses. Maybe you are. Maybe you watch those HD TV shows and you want to do it yourself. Maybe that is your why, right? But probably it's money. Probably it's to find some sort of freedom in your life from that 9 to 5, from the 2-hour drive to and from work. I know right now that there's a lot of people heading back to the office. We're reopening this economy. And many people are going to be heading back by July, June to their office at maybe even 50% capacity. And you're already thinking like, oh my gosh, I've really gotten used to this being at home, being at home, being around my family. Maybe I just do not want to get back on the road and drive 2 hours every day in traffic. So maybe that's your why. You want to be able to spend more time with your family. You might want to go broader than this, than just the money. Think bigger picture. Do you know that most people, and this is a new Gallup study that just came out, that talks about the top reasons that people leave their jobs. They want flexibility. The top voluntary job-related reasons for changing a job: career advancement, promotional opportunities, pay and benefits, lack of a fit to the job. Pay is just a portion of this. It's pretty incredible. Pay is just a piece of this. But it shows that out of the top 5 reasons people leave a job, money is only number 4 on the list. I think for most people, unless they're scared about money and they're staying in a particular job because they're scared about money, for most people, it is just not fulfilling. It's just taken up. It's like vampires sucking blood out of your body. It's just like, oh God, the thought of going to this place again is draining your life force. So maybe that's your why. You want some of your own life force back. Other than money, what else could you gain, by investing in real estate? Figure that out. What is that piece? Examples are, time, maybe time with your family. Maybe it's the freedom to travel. When I worked for somebody else, I could never go anywhere longer than like a 1-week vacation, right? If I had 2 weeks vacation, I would break it up over the year, but I could never go anywhere for longer than a week at a time. And it wasn't until that I retired from the corporate life that I was able to take a month and go to Italy with my family. I vowed that once I was able to retire from the 9 to 5 and working for somebody else, that I was going to travel and live the life that I wanted. While we were in Italy, each of our rental properties was still collecting rent with our property management team managing the properties. And while I was in Italy, I'll never forget this feeling. We were in Italy and our rent checks for that particular month in our different markets started hitting my account. And I thought to myself, this is amazing. This is exactly what I preach and try to teach people, that because of the cash flow, because of the power of passive income, I'm able to enjoy the life that I've always dreamed, providing a great home for someone to live in, a property management team that's taking care of it, the tenant has a great place to live, and because I worked hard and I was able to buy these assets, I'm able to now enjoy the fruits of this. And that was, that is a big piece of why I wanted to be able to invest in real estate. You could spend more time traveling. You could have the confidence that comes from being your own boss. I think one of the things we learned in this economic downturn and this pandemic is that people that were able to receive that $600 plus up, that unemployment benefit that was given out during the pandemic as the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, one of the things we found out is that it actually worked. It didn't keep people home. There's a lot of FUD around this, right? But actually, people that received this were able to have less stress in their life. They were able to start businesses. They were able to invest. They were able to really take an advancement in their life because they got a little bit of extra money. So I'm not saying that we're like waiting on government to hand us money, but what I am saying is imagine the extra freedom that could come from 1 or 2 rental properties, providing that cushion, that cash flow, so that you could start your own business. You could write that book that you've always wanted to. You'd have that safety net to take care of your family, so that piece of it, that anxiety is taken care of. And now you can expand your life in other ways. So again, understanding your why is a big piece of when someone books a call with my team at Morris Invest. Like, we want to know that. Like, what is your why? Why are you doing this? And we really try to then build a custom plan based on that moving forward. Because sometimes, and I'm telling you what, if it's just about money, it's not going to work. If it's only about money, then it's not going to work. If you start a new project, you start a new business, and it's only about money, it's going to fail. So there's got to be another reason why you're being called to invest in real estate or start that business or write that book. It's not about money. It's about passion. It's about identifying what you want in your life and going for it. Because that'll help you get through those times when things are tough, right? Because it's bigger than money. All right, number 2 on my list. Now that we've got your major motivator nailed down here, let's talk about the actual numbers. Number 2 on my list is I want you to be specific. Be specific. Recently I was doing a training. I'm taking a course right now. And one of the things in the course is something that I preach all the time, which is when you're making a goal, you absolutely need to be specific. And I'm talking hyper specific. Now, one of the strategies I've used this getting things done method for years. GTD is what it's called. And I kind of go in and out of using it. David Allen wrote a book on getting things done. And one of the things he does is basically just a brain dump, right? First, you start off with just getting everything out of your brain down on paper. It's probably going to be 100 things that you think you have to accomplish. Clean out garage, call mom about birthday, build webinar, whatever it is, like all of these things that you think you have to do. As meaningless and small as it is, get it all out of your brain into a bucket. Then, as David teaches, we then are going to break those down into projects. So clean out garage is not just a 2-minute item that I can go out and quickly do. It's going to be a whole day thing, right? So it might be I need to go to Home Depot and buy bins to store things. It might be that I need to paint something. It might need that I need to sweep it out the garage. It might need that I need to have a garage sale first to sell things. All of those things, those become steps, and they're very specific. And then I build a list of 10 items to have that garage done. So let's start with number 1. Okay, number 1 is to have a garage sale. Number 2, and even that, it becomes its own project. You need to be specific, though, each step of this way, because it doesn't give you any guidance or clarity to just throw up on a board, make money, get $5,000 in monthly income from rental properties. Like we start with our Freedom Cheat Sheet, which I want you to all download. You can go to morrisinvest.com/freedom. And that's the core of everything that I do in real estate is my freedom number. This is a formula that I created to help me go from not being able to pay my mortgage to actually having rental properties that covered that so that I could leave my job and know that I had the safety net of passive income from real estate there, permanently helping me no matter what happened with my day job. And it's not enough, though, to simply have a goal of investing in real estate because it doesn't give you any guidance or clarity on how to actually get there. The freedom number cheat sheet is so powerful because it's not an arbitrary number. What we teach you to do in this cheat sheet is to go through and figure out all of your expenses. Figure out what it costs for you to run your family. Like, how much does it cost for you to run your family on a monthly basis? Groceries, gas, Netflix bills, soccer camp for the kids, all of it, electricity. And we teach you in this cheat sheet how to identify that. And then we want you to figure out the average of 6 months. Just download the cheat sheet. It's free. We'll have a link in the description below. You can go check it out. And any questions you have on it, I'm here to help you through that process. It's based on your finances. So it's tailored to you, no one else, right? There's no one size fits all. I hear people saying, I want to have 2,000 properties someday. I want to have 1,500 properties someday. Why? Like that's an arbitrary random number. What about for your family? Would it only take you $5,000 a month to live financially free? Okay, let's zero in on that. What if you had $6,000 then every month coming in from passive income? Wouldn't that be a game changer? That would cover all of your family's expenses. Now, everything you do above that is gravy. You don't need to be a millionaire. You just need to have all your family expenses covered so you can travel and enjoy life. And now, you're probably still working. Great. All of that additional income from your W-2 job is gravy. That's your walking around money. Now you got a safety net in real estate investing, but you focused on this goal. You figured out what your target is first, and then we can build a plan from there. So that's number 2. We need to be specific. Setting a specific goal. Is it $4,000 a month in passive income you want? $6,570, whatever it is, it's got to be specific and put that number up around your house. Number 3, you've got to write down your goals. You've got to keep these reminders up on a whiteboard. I have a whiteboard up here in my office. Can't really see it, but it's up the stairs there. I've got my whiteboard there. And it has my goals on it on one side. And it has investments and other strategies and things I'm working on the other side. Unless my kids come in and they take my magic markers, my Sharpies, my dry erase markers, and they screw it up. I come up, there's a picture of Batman and a bunny rabbit on there. But for the most part, it's my stuff. So once you have your goals and you have visual reminders, I've created a vision board. And it's time that I update my vision board. And on that vision board, you can actually have it as a desktop background on your Mac, your PC, whatever, your iPhone. And there's apps that you can create vision boards. Literally go to the App Store and look for vision board. And every time you log into your computer, you'll see these 6 pictures on your vision board. It could be, you could pick a model that you want to look like from working out, right? Like you want to lose 20 pounds. Great. This is the body that I want. That could be just an idea. You could have you want to play a musical instrument? You could have a guitar there, whatever it is. You could have your freedom number there, like $4,500 per month in passive income is there on your vision board. And so for me, I wanted 12 rental properties. I had my specific number. I had what I wanted to be doing in my business, all on my vision board. And when I would go back every year and review how I was doing in my business, wouldn't you know it, because I wrote it down and it was in front of me, year after year after year, I was hitting those goals and targets because I wrote them down. There's something that absolutely triggers in our brain when we actually physically hold a pen and put it down to paper. We now know through research that this act of writing it down, there's a 40% higher recall and memorization of it, I guess, of what goes into our brain, and it stays there. And it's like a trigger. If we don't write it down, we just say it, we don't do anything with it, we don't put it in front of us, there's a 40% less chance that you're going to achieve that goal. 40%. Same thing is true of any kind of learning in school. Write it down. It's not enough to just sit there and listen to a lecture by a teacher. Write it down. Highlight the things that are important. Put it on your refrigerator. Write it in your bathroom mirror. Put it there every day, and so you see it. Put it on your desktop background. Make your vision board. Do whatever you need to do to have your goals in front of you every day. Number 4, and this is very important, it's to find someone to keep you accountable. Someone to keep you accountable, to keep you on track. I hope that you're in a relationship, if you're husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, I don't care. You got to have that support. And it's going to be very difficult if that person in your partnership is really not on your team with this, is sort of anti-reaching this goal. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a big pitfall. And it's a time to have a deeper discussion. If the spouse or the person you're with close is not supportive of it, then maybe it's time to actually look outside of that at a support group that could be a local real estate meetup group. It could be just a mentorship group. It could be a mastermind group that you get together with a couple of friends. It could be a Facebook group that you get together and have support with. It could be our community. We have a great group of people in our Financial Freedom Academy. If you go to financialfreedomacademy.com, it's all people in our group who have gone through our course, our 9-module course, have learned about how to get their finances in order to take action to become a real estate investor. And then everyone that's in our private Facebook group they're all supportive. They all have different financial goals, but they're all so uplifting and supportive. It's all like-minded people who are sort of seeking out how to build a better life through real estate investing and just improving their finances overall. How to think about buying, performing assets that are putting money in their pocket rather than taking money out of their pocket. But you need to find those support pieces. They're absolutely imperative. And imagine being able to jump on the phone, once a week or once a month with your group, and being able to have a conversation and just sort of check in, grab a glass of wine. And, for an hour, we're going to go back and forth about our goals. What pitfalls, what hurdles are we dealing with? How are we doing better at reaching our goals? Support and mentorship, incredibly important. So again, Financial Freedom Academy is a great place to find that. You can find it a lot of other places as well. Perhaps it's at a church, another local Kiwanis club, or any kind of organization where you can come together and be all lifted up. Don't surround yourself with toxic people. Toxic, negative Nellies. Well, the reason that they're negative, they're jealous. And people are going to tell you you can't do it, or this is not going to work, and you should just work your 9-to-5 job. The people that are telling you that are the people that aren't successful. So always remember to get your advice from people where you want to be eventually, from the people who have achieved more than you already. Why would you get real estate investing advice from Uncle Jerry, who never invested in real estate, or he heard a story from Aunt Mildred who invested in real estate and it didn't go well? So because of Uncle Jerry, you're not going to take action? Because of a negative parent or a negative family member, you're not going to do it? I would ask that person, oh, I see, Uncle Jerry, how many properties have you owned? Well, none. You couldn't catch me investing in real estate. Well, yeah. So what? I just stick to my 9-to-5 job and I've got a pension. Okay, great, Uncle Jerry. So now you're 70, can't walk, and now you get to enjoy your life. Okay. So remember, surround yourself with the people that you want to aspire to be, right? You are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Who are the 5 people that are around you? What do they look like? How do they act? Are they successful? You are the product of the 5 people you spend and surround yourself with the most. So who are those people? And maybe you got to think about adding in some new blood into that mix. And number 5 on my list is evaluate. We need to set quarterly reminders on your calendar. Now, if you looked at my Fantastical calendar, I've got alerts so that, in fact, every beginning of the month, we have a check-in, team meeting, family meeting. And I want to check in and focus on my progress. What's working, what's not. If you follow the GTD method, the Getting Things Done method by David Allen, and again, I use it loosely, he has a weekly review. So I've had my brain dump. You can use an app. You can, like David Allen, he just uses a basket. And when he would go in and work with CEOs and executives, he would make sure that their secretary would block out 2 days on their calendar. No one is to interfere with this executive for 2 days. And he was going to work with them. He gave them a stack of index cards. And he said, on each index card, I want you to write down something that's occupying your mind that you think you need to get done. Take a letter to the post office, call grandma, build that new wing of the convention center, whatever it is for the CEO. All of it. Stack of cards. Put it in a folder, in a bin. And then we're going to separate it. What of these items can we accomplish in 2 minutes? Let's get them done. Either I do it or I delegate it to my secretary. The second is projects. Okay, these are projects. Now we got to break them into small pieces. How am I going to accomplish these small pieces? Each of them. Are some of these projects maybe 2 years from now projects? So I can put it in the someday maybe folder? What are the projects that need to get done now? It's incredibly important. And so then I can start tackling those and then breaking those down in individual steps. Well, I want to review this, maybe in 2 months when I check in on my projects, I'm like, you know what? This project is a total waste of time. It's not what I need it to be. The company doesn't need it right now. I don't need it. I'm going to push it off into my someday maybe folder. I do that all the time. And then there are projects that I absolutely need to take care of right now and get them tackled right now today and start working on. And so those take my priority. And that's where you evaluate and make adjustments and can move on from there. So I want to thank you for watching today. Before I open it up for Q&A, I want to let you in on a little project that I've been working on this year to help you reach your goals. We are releasing it next week. As a thank you for you joining me today, I want to give you a little heads up and tell you how to get free access. This is for you if you've This is for you if you have any questions about getting started with real estate investing, working with a full service real estate company, our history, our partnerships, everything that we do, what your first step should be in this process, understanding and evaluating how to get started, all of that is going to be answered. It's a webinar that we've built. This is for you. It's about how to get started in real estate investing, how to work with a full service real estate company, the whole thing. So it is a webinar. It's a comprehensive video on the benefits of real estate investing, how to get started, what the process is like, how to know if a property is a great investment or not, all of the details of that. I mean, we are talking a boatload of information that hopefully will blow you away. How to be a successful investor, what it took, what to look for in any company you work with, whether it's ours or anyone, it doesn't matter. And any questions that you have on your mind. We're not ready to hit publish just yet, but you can actually be one of the first to attend by joining my newsletter. Okay, so this is just for anyone watching right now. You can attend first before anyone else if you go to morrisinvest.com/email. We'll have a link below. Again, it's morrisinvest.com/email to sign up to be on our newsletter. We will send you the notification to be a part of our live webinar. So you can ask questions on the live webinar after we watch it. We'll watch it together, go through all of the slides together, and I'm going to walk you through in detail each piece of this. I'm really excited. It's really taken about a year. Really. We started conceptualizing it like just during the lockdown last year, and we're finally about to launch this, and it's taken a lot of work. So I'm really excited about that. And again, you can sign up at morrisinvest.com/email. So with that, I do want to open it up for a few Q&A questions here before I have to run to a separate radio interview I'm about to do. But I did want to open it up here for some Q&A for a few minutes if I can. I know we've already been answering some questions here in the chat, but let me do that here. Digital Life, nice. Thank you so much. Here's to you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for the beer. So if you have any quick questions about real estate investing or anything we talked about today on the show, today was more of a conceptual episode. I do think it's incredibly important, though, to map out your goals and to go through that process of mapping out your goals, keeping them in front of you, building that, building your freedom number, and learning how to set markers so you know that you're advancing. I mean, the thing is, like, if you don't set, I love when I have like a 10-step project and I use OmniFocus or something like that as an app. You can use Things or any other, you can use Reminders app on the iPhone, the generic one, and just keep a list of like the 10 items, and you get to check those boxes off after you've completed a task. And you know that now you're 2 or 3 steps closer to reaching your goal is powerful stuff. Thank you, William Smith. Colin, I'm not a financial advisor. Thank you. Said I'm investing with you guys this month in Lubbock, Texas. Should I buy it in an LLC or in my own name with conventional financing because of record low interest rates? I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you that I personally would be buying it in my own name, and then you can always transfer it to an LLC later. Very simple to do. Work with Corporate Direct, the legal team, their lawyers, for like a few $100s, they can transfer it over. It's no big deal. That's what I would do personally. That's what I've done because of these record low rates. And it's legal and everything's above board. And in fact, Garrett Sutton writes about it in his book, The Loopholes of Real Estate Investing. So this is very simple to do. So you shouldn't have any, again, we have a lot of clients that do that and then transfer it over to your LLC later on. I hope that helps. Yeah, and as Nicole points out, most banks do not loan to an LLC, so you would have to close in your own name first and then transfer it over. Again, no big deal. Demi Curve says, how much typically needed to buy one of your properties? About $45,000. is going to be about our minimum down payment for one of our properties, Demi. I love that name, by the way. Lavetta Mullins says, yeah, and go ahead and book a call with our team, Demi. But yeah, like 45,000. Lavetta Mullins says, I hear some investors talk about termites. I live in the north where termites don't seem to be a problem. For homes in Texas, what's being done to prevent termite damage? I mean, that's all part of like the new construction, you know, when everything is treated the right way and it's built the right way, and property management takes care of properties, you know, you don't have that happen. I remember as a kid in Pennsylvania, we had termites. And you said the north. I mean, we had termites in my house in Pennsylvania. I had to get termite treatment. I remember in my dad's office in Pennsylvania, he was in his office and like something was like flying around. He's like, is that a flying ant? And then he looked up and there was like a trail of termites in the ceiling tile in the basement office that he had. But, you know, look, you could always talk yourself out of ever taking action, right? Maybe like, you know, real estate investing, we know what a store of value real estate investing is against, you know, as a hedge against inflation, as one of the ultimate stores of value, as the government continues to print money, as the US dollar continues to decline in value, and real estate is a hedge against that. You could talk yourself out of ever taking action. You could be like, you know, and I'm not saying you are doing this, Lavetta. I'm just saying people do this, right? Like, you know, I would love to invest in real estate, but I hear that termites are a problem. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like, I could go to that really awesome dinner meeting tomorrow night, but I hear that one road is under construction. So, yeah, maybe you take another road, you know? But so I hear that real estate investing is great, but I might have a tenant turnover at some point where the tenant moves out, and I might have to then wait a few weeks until the new tenant moves in, and we might have to clean the carpet and clean the kitchen. Yeah, that's going to happen. Is that a reason not to take action, though? You know, I hear that there's tornadoes in Kansas. Yeah. So should I not? And, you know, so all of these things, you just have to make sure you try to mitigate those risks. You know, you try to mitigate that. That's what we do at our company anyway. Purple Lady, where are your investment rental properties? Any in Texas? Yes. In fact, most of them are in Texas. So if you're interested, you can book a call with our team, West Texas. And we just rolled out our Odessa Midland area in Lubbock. We've just upped the number of homes we're building this year. So acquired more land in great school districts. So if you're interested, book a call with our team. Lavetta says, yep, that's true. Thanks, Clayton. Sure. Ricardo, how can I invest in areas where there's low housing opportunities? I live in Orlando, Florida, and everything is skyrocketing to a point that a house could be over $400,000 when it used to be $128,000. Well, I would hope you, Ricardo, you watched my video from last week. If you haven't, please go and watch it. We did a whole video about it, how not buying, how, you know, the best rental properties are not in your backyard. So, Ricardo, it's right here on the channel. Maybe we can even drop that link in right here, Kelly, if you could, so that Ricardo could hit on it. And I think, did we do that last week? Or actually, in fact, why don't you join our webinar? Because we're going to talk all about that, Ricardo. If you go to morrisinvest.com/email, sign up for our newsletter. You can be one of the first to watch our webinar next week. But we talk all about that, like how to invest remotely. I mean, that's what our whole company does. So you can watch that, okay? Toshina Hall, am I saying your name correctly? What state do you consider landlord friendly? I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia's pretty landlord friendly, but the number one most landlord friendly state in the country is Texas. And that is hands down the case. So that's where we invest most of the time. I mean, that's where we're building all of our properties. Landlord friendly just means that it's, I mean, there's a whole host of reasons. I mean, what makes landlord friendly? It's not poor treatment of a tenant. It means that that helps the landlord as a business owner create wealth, create a great place to live, great property management, low crime, high employment, job growth, recession resistant, all of those things. And yes, favorable landlord laws. Like in New Jersey, if I wanted to get an eviction on a tenant because that tenant knew that we had a tenant in one of my New Jersey properties. Don't ever invest in New Jersey, in my opinion. The tenant never ever had a plan to pay. She was like a professional tenant. That's what we call them. She moved in and she immediately didn't pay. She didn't even, and it took a year to go through the lawyers and everything. So like Texas, no lawyers, none of that. And it's a very swift eviction process if that person, doesn't pay, or violates the lease. Ethan says, I'm a snowbird and back for a month in oasis of freedom. What the governor calls Florida. Would you think I should invest here? Ethan, there are some pockets that you could do, but it's totally up to you. I can't tell you where to invest. I can tell you that we no longer are doing business in Florida at the moment. We used to do some things in Jacksonville, but I don't currently do that. So, you just need to make sure the numbers make sense, Ethan, Yes, we do build multiplex homes. Our duplexes are some of our hottest commodities. So we build brand new duplexes and townhomes, single families and townhomes. So if you're interested, book a call with our team and we'll help you. Plus, we've got all the financing built in as well. Yeah, Ethan, Texas is fantastic. Awesome, guys. Well, I have to jump on this other interview, guys. I hope you found this valuable today. Please go back and watch it if you joined us late. Be sure, though, please join our email list so that you can join us next week for our live webinar. So we'll send you the email invitation once you sign up. Just go to morrisinvest.com/email. morrisinvest.com/email. And Purple Lady, I know you're going to think it's investing remotely is scary, but it's the same thing I always say to people who they have a 401k plan, right? And they have Coca-Cola and they invest in Ford and they invest in Hewlett-Packard and they invest in Apple stock in their 401k plan. Do those people ever drive to Cupertino and knock on Tim Cook's door at Apple? Be like, hey, I'm just checking in. I own Apple stock, so, no. And so people invest remotely all the time. And the best investments are not going to be in your backyard. They're just not. Their return on investment won't be there unless you happen to live in some of the best rental markets in the country based on demographic data like low crime, high job growth, Fortune 500 companies moving to those areas. I own properties all over the country. And and they're not in my backyard at all. So you just kind of need to get your mind around that, that when you have a great team taking care of everything, you don't have to manage anything. Like you have to pay your property taxes and you have to check in on your portfolio every month. But when you have a great team taking care of it, then you don't have to worry about that. So book a call with our team at Morris Invest, and we'll take great care of you, everyone. All right, much love to all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I wish I didn't have to jump on this interview right now, but I do. And Grover's here to say hi. Ripping apart a doll somewhere. If you could, there he is. What do you got there, buddy? Coming for you. All right, bye, everyone.